Not only grown-ups can sing, we can too.
Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to.
CBC TV8 is having a kids karaoke show just for us. So children between the ages of 5 to 17 come in and join in for fun. Email Nadia Foster at nfoster@cbc.bb. Hear you soon. Bye.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities. Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send an email to Alicia Alves Grant at aagrant@cbc.bb for further details. Fun School is back, and we're looking for you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Oh, hi. My name is Stacia Whitaker, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and a member of the Heart and Stroke Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. My motto is, when in doubt, leave it out, and it goes for when I'm eating, because sometimes things have ingredients that we're not sure of, and I like to keep it simple. And if I'm eating something and I'm not sure the ingredients in that particular thing, then I choose to leave it out. So I keep my snacking simple with fruit, nuts, or just water. It's easy to remember, there's no added ingredients, and it's also very nutritious. So remember, childhood obesity is real, so choose healthier alternatives, and when in doubt, leave it out.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
98.1 The One is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners.
And we're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1 The One, celebrating 18 and still your #1 party station.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kia Lewis, General Practitioner and Healthy Lifestyle Advocate. Good nutrition starts at home. So this school year, I want you to consider packing healthy, nutritious snacks and lunches for your children to carry, rather than having them buy them at school. And don't just pack things you think they should have. Have a discussion and come up with things that you both know they will enjoy.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
It's summer vacation, and CBC TV8 says laugh a little. Your mid-mornings have now included some family-friendly, side-splitting series like The Partridge Family, Benson, and Designing Women. TV not to be missed this vacation. Weekdays from 10 a.m. on CBC TV8. It's Match Day Live from the 246 with host Damian Best. Your all-access pass to the action happening in the BFA Premier League and beyond. Every last Monday of the month on CBC TV8. Kickoff time 8:30 p.m. with analysis from our panel and highlights of the top performances. You can weigh in on the discussion via WhatsApp on 228-5562. It's Match Day Live from the 246. Don't you miss it.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
I'm Anne St. John, a consultant pediatrician. When packing healthy lunch boxes, do include a fruit, which includes a banana, apple, orange, or grapes to supply fiber. Aim for low-calorie packaged snacks without the mention of flour or sugar amongst the first 4 ingredients on the back label. 1 in 3 children in Barbados is affected by overweight or obesity. Let us join together as parents and care providers to reduce the further development of this chronic non-communicable disease within our communities.
Not only grown-ups can sing, we can too.
So easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to.
CBC TV8 is having a kids karaoke show just for us. So children between the ages of 5 to 17 come in and join in for fun. Email Foster at cbc.bb. Hear you soon. Bye.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send an email to Alicia Alves Grant at aagrant@cbc.bb for further details. Fun School is back, and we're looking for you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Oh, hi. My name is Stacey Whitaker, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and a member of the Heart and Stroll Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. My motto is, when in doubt, leave it out, and it goes for when I'm eating, because sometimes things have ingredients that we're not sure of, and I like to keep it simple. And if I'm eating something and I'm not sure the ingredients in that particular
This is the CBC Morning Report for today, Monday, October 30th. I'm Tisha Hines. Good morning. In our top story, police have made a major breakthrough with a spate of sheep theft impacting some government agencies and private farmers. Agricultural officials say this criminal activity could create issues for the sheep program. The breakthrough came when they were caught on camera doing the deed. They were taking the animals from as far away as Greenland in St. Andrew and reportedly recovered in areas in St. Michael. Roy McLean, consultant to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, spoke with the Morning Report about the high incidence of theft.
There's been an increase in the theft of sheep from farmers across the island over the past two to 3 months. Private farmers as well as from government facilities. Between the Greenland Livestock Station and the facility at the Animal Nutrition Unit in the Pine, we lost a total of 45 sheep, 43 ewes and 2 rams. Now, this could have a serious impact on the program for the development of the sheep industry, because someone who steals 43 ewes in a matter of months could have close to 100 lambs. And then that person would hold themselves out as a legitimate farmer. And when in fact, they have deprived another farmer from having an increase in his population.
Mr. McLean says they were very fortunate to get back some of the sheep thanks to technology.
Unknowing to the thieves, whereas they would have seen tags on the ear of the sheep and removed them, we also had electronic tags in the form of radio frequency chip, which is embedded under the skin of the sheep, so that when we scanned the sheep, we were able to identify them in that manner. So I would like to encourage farmers to try to move to this level of technology. They can have a discussion with us at the ministry to find out how it can be done, and we can see how we could assist them in getting this kind of traceability where the livestock is concerned.
The agricultural consultant thanked the lawmen for working so swiftly.
The police have done an excellent job in helping us to recover the sheep. The persons obviously had a well-organized program for the removing people's sheep from the premises and also for storing them. So I would also like to advise those persons who have the solar panels where they are required to have sheep to graze under the panels, that if they're going to buy sheep, make sure that they buy them from legitimate farmers. Don't let anyone just tell you that they can get some sheep for you. Make sure you can get them from legitimate farmers. You can contact the Minister of Agriculture and we can put you in touch with the farmers who will be able to supply you with sheep for that purpose. But obviously, there seems to be a market out there for stolen sheep, and we want to put farmers on guard, put security in place. And even though we had security, we had cameras, the thieves obviously knew what they were doing. But fortunately, we had the traceability systems in place and were able to recover them.
Coming up on the CBC Morning Report, the U.S. urges Israel to protect civilians.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
98.1 to 1 is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners.
Israel has stepped up strikes close to another hospital in Gaza City after ordering its immediate evacuation. The World Health Organization says it is deeply concerned at this development. The United Nations chief has repeated a call for a ceasefire to end what it calls a nightmare for the people of Gaza.
For Israel, it seems nowhere in Gaza is off limits. Every bomb dropped, every rocket fired, Israel says, targets Hamas positions. But many, perhaps most, are hitting densely populated civilian areas. Sunday afternoon, another major Gaza hospital is threatened with a worst-case scenario. Al-Quds is sheltering 14,000 people, some wounded, many displaced after weeks of bombardment. The hospital director says there is nothing here for Israel to hit.
There is no reason. In the hospital, there is no police presence, no military presence, nothing at all. Just thousands of Palestinians here, many of whom have lost their homes. Thousands of others are seeking shelter in UNRWA schools, and Israel is targeting every single building around Al-Quds Hospital. Why is that? Nobody knows.
Israeli messages to patients and hospital administrators with orders to leave were accompanied by airstrikes targeting areas close by. It follows a familiar pattern. Israel has hit dozens of other health facilities in Gaza. The latest threat comes nearly 2 weeks after an attack on the Al-Ahli Baptist Hospital killed hundreds of people, including children. Israel denies responsibility.
What will happen with the hospitals if the international community, whatever that is not getting a ceasefire in place and opening Gaza and getting in fuel, water, food, and medical supplies? We will see a disaster of a magnitude that I don't think we have seen in modern times. So the most important medical thing to do now is to stop the bombing and lift the siege.
Al-Quds doctors say any kind of evacuation is impossible. There are too many patients who need care, and anyway, there is nowhere safe to go.
The only country in the world that can prevent Israel now from bombarding this hospital, as they have done to 56 other health facilities that they completely destroyed, the only country that can stop that is the United States of America. Because there is no United Nations international presence there that can provide protection.
The World Health Organization issued a statement expressing deep concern for the safety of patients and Palestinians sheltering there. Such sentiment of little use in the face of Israeli bombs and missiles.
The U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says hostage negotiations are ongoing with the U.S. orally contact with Israel and regional partners to secure their release. Meanwhile, Sullivan has reminded Israel they must protect civilian life.
We have seen thousands of Palestinian civilians killed in this conflict, that is a tragedy. Each and every one of those individual deaths is a tragedy, and that the life of every civilian, Palestinian, Israeli, anyone, is sacred and has to be protected. And it is important for Israel to distinguish between going after terrorist targets to take out terrorists who continue to threaten Israel and going after civilians. That is an obligation and a responsibility for Israel, and it's something that we will continue to press them on.
Patty Culhane is joining us now from Washington, D.C. to tell us more about what Jake Sullivan had to say. Patty.
Well, pressing them on it, but not publicly calling them out for not following those exact laws that he spoke of. Just for an example, it is a war crime to use collective punishment to withdraw electricity, food, water, medicine, something Israel's clearly doing. It is something a little bit unusual to have the National Security Advisor acknowledge how many thousands of Palestinians have been killed, because President Joe Biden earlier this week got a lot of pushback, especially from Arab Americans, when asked at a press conference about the then 7,000 Palestinians who've been killed, so many of them children. He said he didn't trust those numbers because they came from Hamas, even though the State Department, the United Nations, pretty much everybody uses those numbers because they believe they are in fact accurate. So that was an acknowledgement at one point. One interesting thing I think about the phone calls between the Israeli Prime Minister and the Egyptian President is he's really focusing now on aid, because now Americans are starting to see video from Gaza. For the last couple of weeks, we really have seen very limited, very sensitized shots of the destruction. I was actually quite taken aback. The conservative media is now showing it to some extent, which hasn't been happening. So people are becoming more and more aware of the plight of the people of Gaza who are literally trapped there and cannot get out. So with his conversation with Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, he said aid they've agreed will be, there'll be more aid, it'll be immediate, it'll come in starting today, and it will continue. The Associated Press saying there were 36 trucks that came in. Obviously, that's not anywhere even close to what they need. But the bigger question is what's going to be in that aid? Israel has said no fuel because they're afraid Hamas will use it. Well, obviously hospitals need that fuel. They have said it can't go north. Well, there are hospitals in the north that need those supplies. So we've reached out to the White House, still no answer, but we'll keep working on it.
It's time for us to tell you now about the Ellersly Expo that's coming up on Morning Barbados. Also, breast health and breast cancer, the final show in the series as we close out the month of October, and breast cancer awareness just for this specific series. The NCF will be in to talk about the literary arts for the upcoming NIFCA, and our Bajan Afar is a Bajan living in China who's been sharing lots with us. Plus, we're going to tell you about some interesting things happening at the Hawthorne Methodist Church, and naturopath Dr. Dale Brathwaite will be in as well. That's all coming up at 6:30 on Morning Barbados. But next, we have more news, sports, and weather. Stay with us.
.1 is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love playing music for our listeners. And we're committed to working with our clients and advertisers to make sure that you get the attention that you deserve.
98.1 The One. Celebrating 18 and still your #1 party station.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing
Corporate Barbados has been put on notice that the island's tax rate could change to comply with international requirements developed 2 years ago. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley drew attention to the issue yesterday during the Barbados Labour Party's conference. She said she will have to address the country soon on the matter of global minimum tax.
In 2021, all of the countries of the world, except for a handful, got together and agreed that corporation taxes should be increased to 15% as part of the global minimum tax for companies over a certain threshold. What is the DNA, what is the anatomy of our corporation taxes? We collected about $470 million last year. When I was Minister of Economic Development in 2007, we were collecting, Reggie, $520 million. You know where it dropped to rock bottom? Because our relationships in the international business sector started to change.
The African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, is moving to build on the successes recorded during the inaugural Afri-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum in Barbados last year. Guyana, this time around, is playing host to the second forum. The event, organized by the Africa Export-Import Bank and the government of Guyana, is being held under the theme Creating a Shared Prosperous Future. Director of African Union Relations and Trade Policy, Youssef Daya, says given the history of Africa and the Caribbean, the bank is working to find new partners.
The African Union recognized the importance of the African diaspora as the sixth region of Africa. This was in 2008. The decade 2021 to 2031 has been designated the decade of the diaspora and African roots. So the bank is giving effect to this messaging of bringing the diaspora back to the continent, building relationships, building economic ties, taking the relationship from one of cultural history to one of economic opportunity and economic development for both regions.
Mr. Daya believes by working together, Africa and the Caribbean can create a force in the global economy.
We know that the level of trade between the two regions is still negligible. Total bilateral trade between Africa and the Caribbean is slightly below $1 billion. And in the context of a continent like Africa, where our total trade is in the region of $1 trillion, we need to build this relationship. There are a number of opportunities across various sectors that provide opportunities to build Africa-Caribbean relations, economic trade, and support economic development. The regions share a lot of similarities also, not only in terms of culture, history, food, music, but also in terms of size of the economies, some of the challenges confronting us, our position in the global economy.
In sports, rough sea conditions forced the postponement of the lone event Team Barbados had a competitor in yesterday at the Pan American Games. Scott Gittins was scheduled to race in sailing's dinghy ILCA 7 last evening, but all the sailing events were put on pause until conditions are better. Meanwhile, 2 Barbadians have been flying the flag for their country off the field at the Games. Nicole Dawson and Justin Tate are technical officials in field hockey. CBC's Damien Best reports.
Not every Barbadian in Chile has been selected to compete in a particular discipline. In fact, Nicole Dawson and Justin Tate are technical officials working in field hockey here at the Pan American Games. Both are part of a team of officials assigned to make sure all technical matters are taken care of on match days. The areas they are assigned include the timing system, scoring, and technical officer duties. Tate explained the pathway to such roles in the sport.
So you start locally. It always starts nationally, locally. You're being involved, learning your trade, learning the craft. And then from there, you get recommended to be registered with PAF, the Pan American Hockey Federation. And then they also provide training. Once you've completed either level 1 or level 3, you then become eligible for regional appointments. So like this, for example, would be a regional appointment. But there are other tournaments like the Pan American Cup, there's CAC, there's CAC qualifiers. And then from there, as you build that experience, you get promoted and you learn your trade and you become better.
He also says, like any other athlete, his dream is to attend the Olympic Games and is encouraging young people in Barbados to get more involved in the technical aspects of hockey.
Take a chance. I mean, you don't have to be a hockey player or even involved in the sport beforehand. So we are open to taking anyone who's interested. We will train you. We will get you up to speed. There are lots of resources online, the rules, the regulations. It always starts from there. You need to have a good base, a good foundation. Know your rules, know your regulations, and then from there is a case of getting practice and applying them. So the Barbados Hockey Federation is in overall charge of hockey. And then within the federation, there are various committees. So in terms of officials, is the Umpires and Technical Officials Committee that's in charge of training and developing our officials and making sure that they're ready to go up and perform.
Dawson, meanwhile, says the exposure to the systems used at the highest level is a game changer.
It's a great experience for us. We are learning a lot of what we know we can actually put into practice. We have the actual real life pressure from the managers and from the coaches, and it's just to put what we know into practice, and with good guidance and support we are doing our best. And to get into something like this, you would need to really start at home and put in some support and work with the local organizations, because like with hockey we need more officials, we need more people, and it's not just to get on the big stage, it's also to develop what we have at home. So by developing that, you are better seen, and you can get out there.
She's also appealing for more women to get involved.
I don't think we could ever have enough, because the more we have out there, the better it is for us, because then we can then do a whole succession planning and get more people in, and it would really help.
Thanks so much to Damien. Time now for a look at the weather. The barometric pressure stands at 1010 millibars. It's 26.4 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 92%, and the winds are blowing out of the east at 21 kilometers per hour. The present weather is fair. Sea conditions smooth to moderate in open water, with swells ranging from 1.5 to 2 meters. And here's a look at how the tides roll in for today. Be careful as you head out for your early morning sea bath. Sunny with cloudy periods with a few isolated light showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms during the afternoon is what you can expect today. And into the evening, clear with cloudy periods with the occasional scattered light showers. And that is, of course, the morning report. Do join us at 12 noon for Newsday and at 1 o'clock on our radio services for The World at 1. Up next is Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
It's Monday, October 30th. Time for another Morning Barbados presentation. Most certainly wonderful to have you with us on this beautiful Monday. We had a rainy weekend all across Barbados. Wherever you are, if you didn't have rain, I don't know if you were on island, but most certainly for those of us here, we enjoyed the little showers because it kept the heat at bay, if only for a little bit in some places. I know in low-lying areas we had some flooding and so on, so sorry to hear about that, but we most certainly need to look at what's happening with the flooding. We heard last week that the ministry said that it was owing to a lot of littering. Maybe we need to look at our practices as well. So we have a great show planned for you on Morning Barbados today. We're encouraging you to follow us online. Those of you who follow us every day on Facebook and on YouTube, a special good morning to you. We want to start off today's show by telling you about something very interesting that's happening. It's an Ellersly School Expo. And to tell us more about it, we have Samira Scantlebury-Noel, who is a fifth form student at Ellersly, and she's joined by Chelsea Devonish, a past student of the school, and they've brought along Jamal Henry. He's a teacher, so for the purposes of the interview, we have to call him Mr. Henry. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm over this way. She's looking over there. She's looking for reinforcement from Chelsea, I suppose. All right, so welcome to all of you. I want to start with you, Mr. Henry. Talk to me about the expo at the school. What does it entail?
All right, so the, good morning, Tisha, and good morning, Barbados. The Ellersly School Entrepreneurship Extravaganza is an annual expo that the school puts on. It was the brainchild of our guidance counselor, Ms. Wet, and it basically is an opportunity for students to put into practice, gain some real world experience in terms of many of the business practices and entrepreneurship that they're learning at school. Many of our students, besides their studies and getting their work done and stuff, a lot of our students actually have side businesses, and they try to supplement what they may get from their parents sometimes with their own earnings. We're living in a time where a lot of people are always talking about economic difficulties, and a lot of students have actually, adults do it too, but we're finding that more and more students are doing it as well. And I think that our guidance counselor saw the need to sort of mold this practice and refine it and fine-tune it so that students are better able to handle themselves in the business environment, with an early start, and can develop along that way as they grow.
All right, that's pretty interesting. Let's go to you, Samira. Talk to me about what we're seeing here on the table. These are a few things that you guys brought along to share.
Yes, I made the strip lashes. I also do the service of Nova Lash.
But I feel like more people at the Ellersly School will want the strip lashes because obviously it's not allowed at school, so they could put it on easily and take it off when they get home.
Tell me how you got into business.
Well, I started getting interest in it last year when I saw how girls would wear eyelashes and it would look very cute on them. So I was watching how to do them on YouTube, but obviously they hadn't any equipment to do it. So I asked my mom if she can take me to a course and let they teach me how to do it. So when I went to the 13-week course, I learned how to do lashes, and I finished the course in May, and I am getting better by the day.
Oh, that's truly excellent. Now for you, Chelsea, talk to me about, I saw you bringing in some sweetbread just in time for Independence. So let's hear about what you have for us today.
So we have sweetbread. I also do cheesecake and other baked goods. I do it just bring sweetbread today. How I got started was the first Expo, which was 2019. I did a different business, which was makeup, and then I came back in 2020 and I did baked goods. And yeah, so I just wanted to do two businesses because I always had an interest in baking, so I just wanted to play this and see how far I got in the real world.
All right, so Mr. Henry, you're also allowing former students to be a part of the presentation. Talk to me about this. This is a fantastic initiative to see that your students are interested in entrepreneurial activities, and to support them in this way, I would imagine can really make a difference to quality of life for those who are doing it as a side hustle, as you mentioned, and for those who are looking to maybe move in that direction career-wise as well.
That's right. And the idea to allow, and not just allow, but encourage past students to come back and be a part of the entrepreneurship expo. Actually, basically what it does is it actually encourages many of our current students as well. So basically, they'll see their colleagues, their past colleagues, exercising or executing, I should say, their businesses on the compound. And sometimes what happens is that even though you went to the same school, outside of school, many people don't move in the same circles, right? And if you are able to see persons that went to school with you, actually executing their business on compound, the setups are very, very nice. They're very professional. The students actually undergo workshops before the day of the entrepreneurship extravaganza to help them prepare. And all of these things go to encouraging current students in the direction of entrepreneurship and earning and self-sustaining, that sort of stuff.
Good stuff. Chelsea, what was the first experience like for you with the makeup?
At that point, it was very intriguing. It was interesting, and it was like everybody. It was a great vibe overall because you get to do what you love, and I did what I love. I ain't eat nothing, and I went through the whole day not eating, and it was very entertaining as well.
All right, so tell me what got you into making this sweet bread, because it looks really appetizing. It looks good.
Thank
looks
you.
like somebody's granny helped you make sweet bread. Is this sweet bread you're making on your own?
Yes, please.
Tell me how you got into making it.
I got into making it through home economics at school. So we had a course, not a course, but a day that we were making like Beijing stuff. So it's an interesting sweet bread because everybody likes sweet bread. So why not? Why not get into it?
Yeah, and what about you, Samira? Talk to me about, now you mentioned that you realized everybody was wearing lashes, and that's the first rule of business. If there's a demand for something, so you definitely are going in the right direction. And then you moved into doing the individual ones and so on as well. How has business been for you?
It's been okay, but I feel like if I keep practicing and get better, it will be more.
What are you practicing on?
Practicing on my friends, family, clients will book online and come to my house for me to do them. And I have the prices very affordable right now because obviously I'm not the best yet, but I feel I'm gonna get there one day.
How are you managing your time? Because you're still at school, you're now in 5th form. You obviously have a side job as well. So how are you managing your time in terms of getting those clients in and getting the work done?
Well, online I blocked out the days I'm busy because I still do lessons on the side because CXC is coming, stuff like that. And I have to study extra time, so I made myself a time plan. So I went online and blocked out all the days that I am not available.
All right, that's wonderful stuff. Talk to us, Mr. Henry, about is it only for schools, the students and past students, or are you encouraging other people to come and support the expo as well?
Well, we are definitely open to the public in terms of coming to the expo. It takes place on the 1st of November. That is Wednesday. We begin at 9 a.m. and it goes until 6 p.m. So the compound will be open, the school compound will be open to members of the public. Of course, the parents are going to come out and support their children, support the students. We usually get relatively decent attendance from the surrounding neighborhood. Teachers, of course, are going to be there to support and encourage our charges. That's a big part of it. But yes, we definitely want the wider public to come to the Ellersly School and take in the entrepreneurship extravaganza, see what our students have to offer, see the talent that we have, see the intelligence that we have, see the business acumen that these students are developing at such an early age.
How many exhibitors?
I think we're running somewhere in the vicinity of about 50.
Wow.
So
that's excellent.
We use the entire compound, the parking lot, the hall, and like I said, it's a very, very professional, the layout is very professional, very attractive aesthetically, and you know, in terms of lost for words, but
so all past and present students of the Ellersly School showcasing their products and services at the school this Wednesday from 9 to 6. So come on out and be a part of it. Thank you for coming in and sharing with us. I wish you the very best. Be sure to let me know how it goes.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back here on Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kia Lewis, general practitioner and healthy lifestyle advocate. Good nutrition starts at home. So this school year, I want you to consider packing healthy, nutritious snacks and lunches for your children to carry, rather than having them buy them at school. And don't just pack things you think they should have. Have a discussion and come up with things that you both know they will enjoy.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
You know why?
It's summer vacation.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Once again, welcome. If you're just joining us, great to have you in company. Now, throughout the month of October, in observance of breast cancer awareness, we, in fact, have been doing a series with Dr. Dale Springer, Consultant General and Breast Surgeon at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And we've, throughout the month, brought you through all the various stages or, ways that you can test yourself if you're, in fact, found to have breast cancer, how you could get the treatment. Today, we're looking at survivorship. So good morning, Dr. Springer. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Tisha.
All right, survivorship. Let's talk about some of the key concerns after completing treatment for breast cancer.
Yes, so we were going through the process from screening, diagnosis, treatment. So survivorship now has to do with the management or the accounting of patients who have completed treatment. Yes, and that area now we're concerned about both the, as we always are, about both the physical aspect of the patient and also the psychological aspects of the patient. So physically, patients may have had some side effects of the treatment, such as lymphedema, which is swelling of the arm. We see sometimes with that. As every surgery, they may have pain. They may have other side effects from the chemotherapy agent. So we are going to consider that and manage that. We also want to look, when we're looking at the physical aspect of it, we think to look at monitoring these patients over time to see if there is any recurrence or any development of new cancers. Because yes, we are dealing with patients who have breast cancer, but they are individuals, they're holistic beings, so they're also at risk for other cancers, such as the colon cancer, the endometrial cancer, etc. So we also want to monitor them for new cancers as time progresses. We also want to look at the psychological impact that the cancer diagnosis will have on the patient. And you would remember very early on, we spoke about cancer distress and psychologically how patients are doing, but still in the period of having completed treatment, the psychological aspect is also still very important in how patients are doing and just checking in and making sure that they are coping well.
Is there any specific treatment rather for patients who might have had mastectomies?
Right, so there's no specific treatment for the mastectomy as such once they don't have any concerns about the mastectomy. Some persons they rarely will develop keloid scars, and we will sometimes inject those with steroids to help them to regress, or sometimes we will have to excise them, or sometimes the person is not happy with the scar, and then we will revise that surgically. Some persons may have decided to go flat initially at the time of surgery, but then later on they decide now is the time for them to do reconstruction, so then we would offer treatment for that. And that's from a surgical point of view. In terms of the medical aspect of it, after a cancer diagnosis, some patients may be on hormonal therapy, and this is something they would have to continue usually for between 5 to 10 years. So when we are doing monitoring during the survivorship period, we want to make sure that they are compliant with the medication, because as you understand, 5 years may be a relatively long period of time. So we want to ensure compliance, because the purpose of this medication is to reduce recurrence of cancer.
And then, of course, we know that sometimes there is a physical impact of the medication, as mentioned. So how do we move past dealing with that, the implications of the medication post-treatment?
Right. So if there is on medication, if it's something that they're on, like the anti-hormonal medication, sometimes we will try a different one. Sometimes they get side effects with one, but when you switch, you don't get these side effects with the other one. Sometimes we can give some specific therapies to try to treat some side effects, and then sometimes there's a process of supporting patients and encouraging them if these side effects are not causing too much debilitation or discomfort in their life. They'll let them know, yes, there is a side effect, but it is something that will be beneficial in the long run. So encourage them and support them through the course of it. Sometimes we even modify the course. Instead of saying we go for 10 years, we try to get you to 7 years, that kind of thing. So it's all about personalized care and working with the patient to see what treatment regimen works best for them.
What about those people who are, their support around them? What information would you share based on what you've seen with people who've gone through the treatment? How should they approach interacting and engaging with survivors?
Right, so you hit the nail on the head, and it's supportive. And yes, to be supportive of them, because the diagnosis can cause you to have many different feelings, both at the time of diagnosis and even after completing treatment. So there are some persons that maybe still be anxious or worried, so you need to support them. Some persons are a little more upbeat and they're positive, and these are some of the patients who go out there and become advocates and they want to share their story and help other patients. But whatever your family or friend is going to try to be as supportive as possible. If it is a situation where you think that what they're feeling is causing interruption or impairment in their lives, such as severe anxiety or depression, then they may need to be encouraged to seek help from a professional counselor, a psychologist, or even a psychiatrist for these persons who have these feelings. and that again is totally normal. It's a major life-changing diagnosis, and different people will react to it in different ways. So the Mohalem, I would say, is to try to be supportive, and if it is something that you think is causing major interruption to your person's life, to seek professional help early.
Let's double back to the mastectomy that we talked about. Some women have double mastectomies, for example. Talk to me about whether the prospect of surgery, reconstructive surgery, are fully available here in Barbados, or is that something they have to look outside of the island for?
No, that is something that is definitely available here in Barbados. I would do some of the reconstructions, the simpler ones, and also we have a consultant plastic surgeon who works both in the public and private sector who would facilitate reconstruction. So it's not something that persons will routinely would need to go overseas for.
And talk to us about what that process is like post-treatment.
In terms of reconstruction, so it is depending on what is the modality of reconstruction you'll be using. You have implants, which are usually silicone based as a foreign body, or you can use the patient's own tissues, usually some type of taking some type of flap, either muscle and the fat from the abdominal wall or from the back, which is the tram flap and the latissimus dorsi flap. Yeah, the thing with the using the patient's own tissues, yes, you have the feeling of tissue, so it's a more natural feeling. But those are more complex reconstructions, and they are associated with a little bit more wound complications. Where the implant basically is less technically difficult, but can sometimes give you a similar cosmetic result.
Are there any lifestyle changes that doctors might say that survivors have to embark on after treatment?
Yes, lifestyle changes are very important. So we normally advise patients to try to maintain an ideal weight, have a BMI around 25, to try to reduce consumption of alcohol or cut out completely. Also, smoking is something that you want to encourage patients not to do. Smoking of any substances. Also, you want persons to exercise as much as possible, but at a minimum of 30 minutes of aerobic exercise five times a week.
All right, so you definitely have to change the way you approach taking care of yourselves. Let's talk about compounding things. And a lot of the times we speak about non-communicable diseases or cancer diagnoses as if they happen, in silos, just as individual things. But many of the times we see women who might have NCDs along with these diagnoses. How does survivorship change when we have these compounded incidents to deal with?
Yes, again, as you said, we try to see things in silos, but really we're seeing treating patients which are complex, and persons can have multiple conditions coexisting. So for persons who have non-communicable diseases, and you know the prevalence of diabetes and hypertension is would be significantly high in our population, as well as some other cardiovascular illnesses. We want to also make sure they're compliant with their medication, that they have these conditions under control as best as they can. As the lifestyle changes such as exercising, cessation of smoking, healthy diet, etc., will also help to manage these conditions and also to help them to control them. So everything is really interrelated and interconnected.
All right, we want to thank you so much for sharing with us. This is the final show in the series. We thoroughly enjoyed having you share with us from week to week as we close out the month of October. We most certainly will not lose your phone numbers.
Thank you.
Yeah, but a final word from you for anyone looking on as far as how they should approach breast health and screenings and taking care of their bodies when it comes to breast cancer generally.
Right. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to CBC for giving me the opportunity to present this series. And in terms of breast health, as we always said, be aware of your breast. And if you have a concern, do not delay, do not wait, get it checked early. As soon as you notice it, get evaluated so that we can have the necessary treatment if necessary as soon as possible with the aim to have a better outcome.
Yeah, I know that initially what you said is for people to look on for changes. Don't just brush aside any changes that you might see in your breasts, how they look in terms of size, what's happening with them and so on. But it's not always obvious either. So we definitely have to make sure that we check all
And do your screening investigations as well. So persons who would need to do their screening mammograms, they should also stay on top of those. Yes, it's not only about being aware in October, even though October is a very important month which raises awareness about breast health, but throughout the whole year is something that we need to be more aware of, with hopefully the aim of reducing the impact, the terrible impact that this condition is having on our population.
All right, we want to thank you again, Dr. Dale Springer, Consultant General and Breast Surgeon at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, for sharing with us over the past few weeks on this very, very important area. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. Take care.
All right, we truly appreciate you too. Thank you. We truly appreciate Dr. Springer's time in sharing with us. It's just heading up to the 7 o'clock hour. It's time for us to take in more news. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's Match Day Live from the 246 with host Damian Best. Your all-access pass to the action happening in the BFA Premier League and beyond. Every last Monday of the month on CBC TV8. Kickoff time, 8:30 p.m. with analysis from our panel and highlights of the top performances. You can weigh in on the discussion via WhatsApp on 228-5562. It's Match Day Live from the 246. Don't you miss it.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
1.5 after 7 o'clock, time for an update of the news. Police have made a major breakthrough with a spate of sheep theft impacting some government agencies and private farmers. Agricultural officials say this criminal activity could create issues for the sheep program. The breakthrough came when they were caught on camera doing the deed. They were taking the animals from as far as Greenland in St. Andrew and reportedly recovered in areas in St. Michael. Dr. Leroy McLean, consultant to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, spoke with the Morning Report about the high incidence of theft.
There's been an increase in the theft of sheep from farmers across the island over the past two to 3 months. Private farmers as well as from government facilities. Between the Greenland Livestock Station and the facility at the Animal Nutrition Unit in the Pine, we lost a total of 45 sheep, 43 ewes and 2 rams. Now, this could have a serious impact on the program for the development of the sheep industry, because someone who steals 43 ewes in a matter of months could have close to 100 lambs. And then that person would hold themselves out as a legitimate farmer. And when in fact, they have deprived another farmer from having an increase in his population.
Anglican cleric and rector of St. Lucy's Parish Church, the Reverend Canon Curtis Goodrich, has proposed a 6-point action plan for Barbados. He was addressing the 85th anniversary of the Barbados Labour Party at the Darrell Jordan Secondary School yesterday. CBC's Trevor Thorpe reports.
The Anglican cleric told the congregation of party faithful Prime Minister Motley was given the mandate to rebuild Barbados as the moral, social, economic and religious walls were leaning out of line. Recalling the work of the prophet Nehemiah, Canon Goodrich said the Prime Minister was also up against ridicule, resistance and rumour, but she has risen to the occasion.
Nehemiah relied on God. 2, Nehemiah respected the opposition. 3, Nehemiah reinforced his weak points. 4, Nehemiah reassured his people. 5, Nehemiah renewed the people's strength continually. And 6, Nehemiah refused to quit.
The cleric told the Barbadian leader her task may be tough and at times daunting, but advised her to remain firm and grounded.
Lose not heart. Be not afraid. Be not dismayed. For the Lord God is in your midst. He is with you, for he says to you even now, I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. Keep trusting, for your strength, your wisdom, your knowledge, your understanding to do the work you have been called to do come from the Lord, not from man.
Canon Goodrich, in his closing remarks, advised against becoming distracted and called on Miss Motley to keep on doing the people's business.
Continue at 85 crafting our future responsibly. I implore you. Stay focused. Stay the course. Do not allow the Sanballats and the Tobiases to distract you, for you are doing a great work and cannot come down. Let this verse serve as encouragement for you and your team.
During the three-day exercise, a number of individuals from the rank and file of the party were recognized for their outstanding contributions to the BLP. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Our next newscast is Newsday at 12 noon on TV8, followed by The World at 1 via our radio network of stations on Q100.7 FM, 98.1 The One, and 94.7 FM. Morning Barbados continues after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I'm Anne St. John, a consultant pediatrician. When packing healthy lunch boxes, do include a fruit, which includes a banana, apple, orange, or grapes to supply fiber. Aim for low-calorie packaged snacks without the mention of flour or sugar amongst the four ingredients on the back label. 1 in 3 children in Barbados is affected by overweight or obesity. Let us join together as parents and care providers to reduce the further development of this chronic non-communicable disease within our communities.
Hey, not only grown-ups can sing, we can too.
Go easy on me, baby. I was still a child.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning again. Welcome back. Good to have you with us. And of course, we are still talking about the 50th anniversary of NIFCA. That's all we're celebrating in 2023. To share more with us on the literary arts is the literary arts officer, the officer with responsibility for literary arts, Cara Price, and she's a cultural officer over at the NCF. I know things are shaping up nicely. So let's say a special good morning to Cara.
Hi, good morning.
Hey, always good to see you. I hope you had a good weekend, getting things on the go.
Yes, it's a busy time. We have a lot going on for NIFCA, all of our plans and preparations, and we're excited to share them with the rest of Barbados.
Excellent. So let's delve into what's happening in the area of the literary arts.
Well, today is actually the deadline for the Adult Literary Arts Competition. So you have up until 4 o'clock today to submit your entries. And we are accepting entries for poetry, for short stories, as well as essays. So it's pretty early now, just after 7. So you still have some time left. And I am eagerly anticipating all of your contributions. So we're asking people to just, take out your stuff, dust it off, and just go online, ncf.bb, and submit your entries there. And if you have any challenges in terms of uploading, you can always reach me on the phone, 417-6625. And I would be really happy to assist you with the registration process.
All right, just so people are clear, let's talk a little bit about the differentiation in ages.
Okay, so this is actually the adult area of the competition. And so that would be people from age 18 and over, okay, because we already had our junior competition, which is already closed. So if you are 18 years and older, you can log on to our website. We have space for you to submit a short story. There'll be guidelines in terms of up to how many words. There's also the poetry, and there's also the essay competition. Now, if you like short stories, but you also like essays, and you also like, short stories, you can actually do all, because we'll accept up to 5 poems, 2 short stories, and 2 essays. I have had many applications from people who dabble in all 3 areas. There's some of our artists who enter music, they enter theater, and they also enter the literary arts. So we're not trying to stifle your creativity in any way. We are happy to receive all of your contributions. And we are also having a NIFCA Book Fest. That's going to be this Saturday, which is going to be in Golden Square. And this is going to be a book fair event where people can come out, they can interact with literary artists, they can buy books, both from local artists as well as from international artists that will be available on sale. And we are going to have a lot of interactive events. There will be things for kids. There'll be a kids zone. We will have demonstrations. For example, from our cookbooks, you're going to have like culinary displays, just so you would know what you're getting when you buy the books. And there are lots of other exciting things going on as well. So we have a lot for you this NIFCA season.
Cara, I want you to speak directly to people who might not be too sure. Like you said, there are a lot of people who dabble. They might write poems or short stories. There may be a few authors out there who are thinking, what do I do? Which area should I enter, and which part of it maybe? What advice would you have for them?
Okay, what I want to get everyone to understand is that NIFCA is actually a developmental festival. So we're interested in discovering new talent and helping budding artists as well. So I think sometimes people think I need to be, Stephen King to enter. That's not necessary at all. So if you write a few poems at home, you go on ahead and you submit them. If you write stories, maybe about, I would say, 2 or 3 pages long under the short story category, you go ahead and you submit those as well. In terms of the essays, I see many of you are calling in on the calling programs, and you have a lot to say about what's going on in Barbados. You go on and you write your essay and you submit it. And we're especially looking for people who have something to say about Barbados as a republic. So we invite all of your thoughts and your responses. And what I really want to leave with people is that many of our really internationally successful artists, and I'll use Dr. Sherry Jones as well as Shakira Bourne as an example. These are people who started out in NIFCA just submitting, what they had, their manuscripts, and this would have been an area where they would have received feedback from the judges over the years and continue to improve their skill set and moves on. So it doesn't matter your level. We are open to writers at all levels. We just want to see your work. and you may be surprised that you are actually a lot better than you may think that you are.
It's true, because sometimes we write things and we don't think they're as profound as they truly are. And another wonderful thing, I am so happy that you said NIFCA is developmental. Because in some people's minds, they're thinking, I might need to perfect this a little bit more. But the wonderful thing about NIFCA is you get that level of engagement that you might not get from somewhere else. You get to hear from the judges so that you can work on improving, really building on your craft.
Absolutely. Last year we held our Meet the Judges segment afterwards, and many people came in and they sat down. They got direct feedback in terms of areas in which they could improve. And these are things that a lot of writers find to be extremely valuable. And even just entering the process, you may enter NIFCA this year, you may get a bronze, and you come back next year and you win a silver. That's just an example to show, how people grow and how that positive affirmation in terms of your skill set, it tends to propel people's writing careers. So absolutely, we are interested in discovering your talent. We have come into the NIFCA last year an audiobook featuring writers who would have won at NIFCA last year, and it's an excellent production, and we just can't wait to share it with the public. The thing is that this is an opportunity for many writers to become published authors, right? So a lot of people don't have the opportunity to say that they're a published author. And many of our winning authors that have come through NIFCA have had the opportunity to be published through our winning words anthologies.
All right, that's truly wonderful. Now, if we look at the prizes, we talked about, I think it has passed, you'd have to correct me, but it was an opportunity for Stoned with Cupid and another winner of NIFCA to be able to showcase their works as well. So the prizes are practical prizes that also help you build on your talents.
Well, for this year, our prizes, we're actually giving out cash prizes in addition to publication. So what would have happened is last year, Stoned with Cupid, he was one of our winners, and he is actually one of the featured artists being published on our audiobook. And we have, artists of all ranges. We have authors like the same Stoned with Cupid, Winston Farrell, and other household names. And then we have new talents, young people whom, we've never heard from before. And so it just goes to show you that, you don't write yourself off. Your talent is a lot better sometimes than you think that you are. And so out of this year's competition, we have cash prizes for our winning entries, as well as publication opportunities as well as some incentive prizes. And that's for people with disabilities. And we also have prizes for, I would say, literary pieces that inspire entrepreneurship. So if there is a particular piece that the judges feel, can be published, they have the opportunity to win an entrepreneurship prize as well. So we actually have a range of prizes. So there's so many reasons, more than 50 reasons to enter NIFCA this year.
And I would love for you to reflect, because we're now in the 50th year, to reflect on all that NIFCA has been able to do in a holistic kind of way in terms of advancing the literary arts in Barbados.
Absolutely. I think that a lot of times when people think about NIFCA, they think about, I think, some of the performing arts, but the literary arts has been extremely impacted by the NIFCA program because of its developmental purpose. And as I would have mentioned earlier, many of the artists who are here and have achieved international success have been propelled through the NIFCA platform. I want to say that over the years, we've had NIFCA workshops going on in schools that have gone ahead and, taught a lot of children about creative writing. We're speaking all the time about, the fact that children are not reading as much. And so things like NIFCA over the years have not only encouraged children to read, but to write, and to write about their own landscape, so that we're not always opening a book and seeing, snowy mountains and alligators and things that we can't necessarily relate to. So, for example, we have authors like the same Shakir Bourne, who would have come through NIFCA, who has since written and published internationally. And her first book, which I've read to my own daughter, my fishy stepmom, set in Barbados, set with familiar characters and familiar folklore. And this is the legacy of NIFCA. This is what NIFCA does for our children and for future writers. And it just continues to make Barbados proud.
That's truly exciting. Today is your final day to enter, so make sure you make the very best of it. You still have a few hours. I believe that closes off at, well, all the others were 11:59, but you're like, what, 4:30?
Ours is at 4. Yes, that's the time that's been set for us. So, but go on ahead and you send in your pieces. And as I said before, if anyone has any challenges, please feel free to reach me either via email or by my phone, which is 417-6625. And I would be more than happy to assist anybody with any challenges. Don't let the deadline come. If you're having any challenges before that, just reach out to me. Email me. I can be emailed at Cara-Price, at ncf.bb.
And that's easy. That's Kara, Cara Price. Cara
2 R's.
Karra.
Karra.
That's why it's important to spell it. Karra-price at ncf.bb. All right. I want to thank you so much, Cara. And we most certainly look forward to all of the wonderful stories and poems and other areas of literary arts that will help to really punctuate a fantastic 50th anniversary celebration of NIFCA this year in 2023. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, and to you and the rest of Barbados as well.
And I know that Bajans are last minute, so look out. Around 3:30, 3:45.
It always happens that way.
All right. Thank you so much. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're reaching out to a Bajan afar. She's in China. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, not only grown-ups can sing, we can too.
So easy on me, baby. I was still a child, didn't get the chance to.
CBC TV 8 is having a kids karaoke show just for us. So children between the ages of 5 to 17 come in and join in for fun. Email Nadia Foster at nfoster@cbc.bb. Hear you soon. Bye.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, so she's a true Bajan traveler. She stopped into Barbados for a quick break before she heads off again. Let me say a special good morning to our Bajan afar today, Pamela Stanford, who is usually residing in China. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Tisha. Good morning, Barbados. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you with us. Now, talk to us about what took you, first of all the way to China.
Okay, I've been in China 5 years now. I teach English in China. What got me going to China? Well, I have big dreams and big ideas of what I always wanted to do in life. And, my island is very small, although beautiful, and I just wanted to see the world. So when I had an opportunity to go to China, I just took it, to go there to teach.
What's teaching English in a place like China like?
Well, first, disclaimer, I don't know any Chinese whatsoever. All I know is ni hao. But the students, I teach university, so the students have some knowledge of English, some little knowledge. I also teach business English and a subject called speech and debate, so not just English. So I always tell people that, if you are in your own country and you're deaf and dumb, you still have to communicate with people, so not knowing language is like not being able to, speak or hear, so it's not as difficult as you think. There is technology for that. I use my Google Translator, to communicate whatever I want. When I'm talking to people, when I'm talking to my students, I use PowerPoint, I use body language. Most Chinese students can read English very well and they can write English very well. So it's the speaking aspect of the English that they have difficulty with. So far, I have not really have any great challenges.
What about you and how you're acclimatizing? I'm interested in hearing that you only know Nui Hao. We're in the same boat. I only know Ni Hao too, but I'm here in Barbados, and there you are teaching the students. So how do you navigate that space? I know you said you use your Google Translate, but you're there 5 years. So how do you navigate that space not being able to speak the language?
You can find some Chinese that can speak English. When I went to China, I was in a big city, an international city. So you can find lots of Chinese that can speak English in that city, which is called Shenzhen, which is next to Hong Kong. So I didn't really had great challenges in that city. But after that, I moved to a smaller city called Zhangjiajie because I wanted to be more immersed into the Chinese culture because in Shenzhen, the international city, it was like walking down the streets of Toronto. It just didn't seem Chinese for me. So I just wanted to like get into the local culture, be around more authentic um, Chinese, and see if I can force myself to learn Chinese. But it's so difficult. There in the smaller city, yes, you'll find less people speaking, but I always have my students to navigate around with me. When they're not there, I would use my translator. If I go to a restaurant, they have pictures, I would point to it and hope for the best when I'm eating. I just go with the flow of life.
Did you just say you would point at the pictures and hope for the best?
Yes, yes.
That is so funny. Oh
Yes.
my goodness. Listen. So I know that you've taken the opportunity. You said you love to travel the world. So you've taken the opportunity to really be a globe trotter. Talk to us about your travels to Africa as well.
Okay, so first I've been to over 50 countries around the world. Um, Recently I've been to Africa, East Africa. I traveled to Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and Rwanda. I had a fantastic time in these countries. I'm an entrepreneur first and foremost. So I went to Africa to look for any business opportunities there and also to find any opportunities that I can think of, ideas that I can also bring back to my country, Barbados, to implement. um because I don't ever forget my country wherever I go. Being in Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, and all the other East African countries I've been in, I realize how cheaper it is than being here in my island, Barbados. um, the people there are so very friendly, and welcoming, especially to me as a Barbadian. For example, Rwanda, from time I landed and they heard that I'm from Barbados, they was like, "Oh, our president, was in your country. Barbados is very beautiful. Welcome, welcome." And Kenya, the same thing. um, so I had a fantastic time. I saw many opportunities there for business that also other Bajans can go there and invest in. Imagine you can get land in these countries for like 5,000 US dollars for even like a half acre or acre of land. Depends on where you are. The bigger cities are more expensive, but you can just go outside of the city and you can find land for that price. So you can get into any field you want to, in tourism, agriculture, whatever area you want in business, you can get into there in Africa.
Wow, that's wonderful, and we know that there are a lot of connections that we're working on, both in airlift and particularly
Yes.
in pharmaceuticals and some very other interesting areas. But for you, as a global traveler or globe trotter, you mentioned how expensive Barbados can be as opposed to some of the other places you have been. But what are some of the stark differences that you've seen as you've traveled across the globe that might have been a little more difficult to acclimatize to as a Barbadian, given that you're coming from our particular culture?
Yes. Some African men, they want more than one wife. So,
How is that different from Barbados?
did well, Barbados, we can't do it. It's illegal. But there, it's yes, but yeah, it's not very different in terms that in Africa it is legal, but here is illegal. As I said before, the prices. I can get a Uber to take me, say, for 15 minutes drive for like less than $2. I can't do that here in Barbados. I can buy land cheaper. I can buy apartments cheaper. So many things I can navigate cheaper. I was looking into because in China I source products for the Caribbean market, and I want to do the same thing there. So being in Africa, I was able to talk to people, connect with people to also expand that business there, bringing products from China over to Africa on a whole, not just East Africa market. So I was seeing, it's much cheaper to ship from China to Africa than to ship to the Caribbean.
All right. So these business opportunities that you're seeing that you've talked about, how do you think we should approach being able to maybe start the process of capitalizing on many of these opportunities that you've seen maybe in the Asian countries and now on the African continent?
But I would tell you to do your research. I'm here. You can also reach out to me. I'm happy to help anyone at any time, answer any questions for you. Next year I want to take a group to Africa while I'm on vacation, because I will be on vacation around um, August and September. So I get 2 months in the summer. So I will head back to Kenya. So I'm thinking about taking a group to Uganda, Kenya, and Rwanda. So if anyone is interested, in going with me, they can, come on board.
All right,
And
that's truly exciting. And of course, we're excited to see some of these wonderful photos that you shared with us of your trips.
yes, when I travel, I like to immerse myself in the local culture. I like to be a local for whatever time I'm there. I don't go to tourist sites really or anything like that. I like to go to villages. I like to, see the people's way of life, talk to the real ground people that are on the ground, find out what's going on there, because you want to know the country better than the people that they're on the ground. So I spend a lot of time with the locals, getting to know them, finding out what their country is all about in terms of their economics, their business climate, whatever. Because just going into a country to invest blindly is not smart. So you must find out as much as you can about this country before you invest your money into it. So it's still a work in progress. I'm also working with some women who are vulnerable women. I always had this vision, I should say, of working with women who want to do their own business or already started their own business, and to help them to get their products to the local market in their country and also to the international market. Because my area is really in marketing. So I've been working with some women who make products, and I'm hoping to get it out there to the international market so that these women, these vulnerable women, can make some money for their family. So you would have disability women, you might have teenage pregnancies, you may have women who, their husbands or boyfriends or whatever just ran off and leave them, with their kids, and there's no one to help them or anything like that. So I am also working with these groups in both Kenya and Rwanda. I want to unify countries together, and I just don't want to look at one particular country in Africa, but if I can work with many as possible, I want to be able to do it.
All right. I want to thank you so much, Pamela Stanford. We
Thank you.
most certainly would love to be able to talk to you a whole lot more. Most certainly to figure out where all of this really started in terms of wanting to connect with the world. Continue to share your travels with us, and we most certainly will continue to live vicariously through your photos and videos and enjoy it. Travel slay, and we look forward to hearing more about that summer trip that you're making to the continent.
Thank you very much, Tisha, and thank you, Barbados.
Absolutely. Have to say a special good morning and thank you to Jeffrey Aline, who made that connection for us. Good morning to you, Jeffrey. It's time for another break on Morning Barbados. When we come back, we are talking a little bit about what's happening at a church. They have a very interesting occasion coming up. Stay with us.
For the past 19 years, QFM has been sharing with you, learning from you, and together building a community for all mature audiences. That's why we say Q is good for you. To our Q family, we say thank you for staying connected to Q 100.7 FM. QFM is a station of the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation. CBC, celebrating 60, connecting Barbadian communities.
Are you a youth group, 4-H club, school, Cub Scout or Brownie Pack, or any organization or club with children ages 4 to 11 years? If yes is the answer, then we at Fun School, we're looking for you. Let's have fun singing, dancing, listening to amazing stories, doing craft, and so much more. I'm such a kid at heart. But to be part of this fun and exciting new season of Fun School, just simply send an email to Alicia Alves Grant at aagrant@cbc.bb for further details. Fun School is back, and we're looking for you.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome back. So we're taking you over to the Hawthorne Methodist Church this morning to talk about a Bajan food fair that's coming up. Let's say a special good morning to Reverend Philanese Sanin of the Hawthorne Methodist Church and Andrea Thorpe as well, representing for the church. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Tricia, and good morning, Barbados.
Good morning.
Good
Wonderful
morning,
to
Tisha.
have you with us. Good morning. All right, so let's talk about this Bajan food fair. Reverend, tell me about how you got the idea to get this going at this time.
Thank you, Tricia. At Horton, we are very big as it relates to engaging in the work of transforming the society. And as such, we take our outreach ministries seriously, as they represent for us some of the means through which we share the love of Christ with our community, and especially the less fortunate ones. So we have a monthly feeding program where we feed approximately 100 persons each time with monthly care packages, not monthly, at least twice a year. We offer them care packages. We also have a food hamper packages ministry where we donate food items and monetary donation to support the needy of our community who are not necessarily be members of the congregation. So really to remain faithful to this ministry call, we are seeking the assistance of the public via, their support to this fundraising. Well, the idea really comes from there.
Oh, wonderful. Ms. Thorpe, talk to me about your engagement because we're only as good as the help we have. So I would imagine that it's wonderful to have these great initiatives at the church, but to be able to engage the membership is what makes all the difference.
Yes, morning, Tisha again. So we formed a fundraising committee, an official fundraising committee early up in the year, and we have been working for about 6 months now to put on this Bajan Food Fair, which will be held on Saturday. We have engaged our entire congregation in terms of coming through to help at the event. We've been selling tickets to the public, and we're expecting to see everyone there. The admission is $10 for adults and $5 for children.
All right, so what can we expect, Reverend, at this Bajan food fair? You know, Bajans want to hear what is there. So what are some of the things that we can look out for?
It's going to be fantastic. We have activities for everybody, like children and adults, and we will have Bajan food. I'm a little jealous about Bajan food because I don't know area where I can bring my culture as well, but that would be another time. So there will be food. We will have like clothing. We have fruits and vegetables. There will be a variety of items and activities for everyone.
Now, I know that you also do an outreach program, a partnership with a children's home in Port-au-Prince. Talk to us a little bit about that, Reverend.
Yeah, we have a children's home in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, where we support. You know, it's should I put it? It's a children's home. I think one of our members went there like about 10 years ago, and so the need came, and they embraced it, and it was brought to us as a congregation, and the members really embraced that. So every year we send monetary donations, and we do party with them. We support them with items that they need and their sports and so forth. It's going good.
All right, and Ms. Thorpe, talk to me about how the membership is engaged with things like this to be able to mobilize them. I know that you've already said that you are on board, but what are the discussions like in terms of being able to reach out and share not only here in Barbados but outside of the island as well?
We basically would communicate with our membership on a weekly basis. Our committee actually meets weekly on Mondays, and we communicate with the congregation during the notices at service on Sundays, and we make every effort to get the congregation engaged to ensure that everyone is on board. We ensure that all of our stakeholders are comfortable with what it is that the committee that has been nominated is doing, and we get their buy-in and we move forward with that.
All right, good stuff. So again, Ms. Thorpe, this is coming up on Saturday, November 4th. That's this coming Saturday, where you
That's
are
right.
going to be out and about from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Hawthorne Memorial Methodist Church, Worthing View, Christchurch. And it's a Bajan food fair to be able to act as a fundraiser. I see that you're going to have some interesting games, lucky dip for adults and karaoke, and there will be plants, something for the children, face painting and horseback riding and all that good stuff. But Bajan food and treats as well, just in time for the start of November. So final word from both of you ladies, starting with you, Ms. Thorpe, as to why people should come out and support this very worthy cause and have a little fun at the same time.
So I want to encourage the public to come out. It is a Bajan food fair. All of the food you would be accustomed to having, things like cuckoo and fly and fish,
steamed fish. You get your macaroni pie, your rice and peas. You get pudding and sauce. We have pone and we have conkeys. We have the whole gamut. Come out and enjoy it. It's a fun family affair. Everyone will be catered to. We have an adult lucky dip that you spoke to, where you can win things like staycations. You can win dinners for two, lunches for two, that kind of thing. And that's the entry for that is $100. But where in Barbados can you get a staycation for $100? So come out, folks. Come out and support Hawthorne on Saturday. Thank you.
And finally, for you, Reverend, your last word for people to come out and be a part of what the Hawthorne family is presenting.
Well, I will support everyone I will encourage everyone to come and support Tricia, because when they come, they will support a bigger cause. They will join the congregation in reaching out to the less fortunate of our society, be able to feed the people monthly, be able to help the children. So joining the fair, yes, it will be entertaining, but they will contribute to a greater cause, which basically be the idea behind everything.
All right. Again, thank you so much for sharing with us this morning. We certainly wish you the best for this fundraiser coming up on Saturday at the church grounds. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Excellent. Bajan Food Fair, wonderful way to start the month of November off as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we are speaking with naturopath Dr. Dale Brathwaite as we continue to share how you can take care of your body the natural way.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
Oh, hi. My name is Stacia Whitaker, and I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and a member of the Heart and Stroll Childhood Obesity.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we have to say a special welcome back to Dr. Dale Brathwaite, who's a naturopath, who has been sharing with us for the last 2 weeks. And it's good to have him this morning. He chose a very interesting line for us to start with, from sneeze to wheeze. Good morning, as we continue to look at maybe sinusitis and how we can work towards curing ourselves the natural way. Welcome. Good to have you with us.
It's a joy to be here, and Barbados, we love you. Well, the wider world, we love you too. It's important to understand that your health is your personal investment, and it's an investment to longevity. And if we're really looking at caring for ourselves, I was reflecting and reading a bit, and a lot of your health begins at your nostrils. Your nostrils help you with 80% of your energy, and it is that oxygen factor. So if we mess up our nostrils in one way or the other, sometimes it may be birth defects, another time it may be environmental in the form of accidents, it may be taking a little time to clear crustated mucus from the nostrils and an overdo and overkill. There are several challenges that we can have, And to help correct some of this, we need to look carefully at the things that we do. And there are just a few cents. We can't discuss all, but there is an element that can hit us really hard. And that is looking at something called rhinosinusitis. And that critical element, once you hear like the osis and the itis, there is a challenge going on where your body is doing more than it ought to do to clear up something. So when you have that sense of chronic rhinosinusitis, it means that your GP, maybe the surgeon, maybe the naturopath, has to do some corrective work with you as we work together. And the chronic rhinosinusitis, you would move through different stages before you get to that critical stage. There's the clear fluid, maybe a nasal drip. Sometimes you see it as frontal. Sometimes you feel it as postnatal, the dripping at the back and so forth. Then you can come from critical, chronic, subacute, and it goes down and down. But then there comes with it a change of colors of that release. What will you do? This is where we need to step back and ask some questions. Question the environment that you're in. Traveling in your own vehicle, you need to keep it updated with, what that word is again, cleaning it. And there's a professional word for cleaning.
Yeah, I know that you can use things like pollen filters and stuff like that in the vehicles as well.
Yes.
To be able to help you along those lines. So how do you know that you've reached that chronic phase without sounding a little patronizing? Because there are people who will say, I'm dealing with sinusitis, but how do you know that it's at that place that you talked about?
Well, it goes in categories. 4 weeks, then from 4 weeks to like 3 months, 3 months to 6 months to a year. And those categories, they all have fancy names. However, we're going to try to keep it as simple as possible. And when you find that you're getting headaches, you're having difficulty breathing, even earache, toothache, you know that something is happening. And your body is sending you these signals to say, look, help me. And your primary healthcare facilitator, he or she, in taking notes and helping you along, will be there to help you through. And if I maybe rush on a bit, there are foods that we can eat and behaviors that we can adopt to help. And some of the foods that we can look at, some person called me and said, but y'all didn't discuss Bajan foods that can help you? And I'll try my best. They may not be all Bajan, but there's a food called Eprija and Passion that clears up all the symptoms or the symptomology of sinusitis. You can find these at health food shops. If you're going the steroidal load, if you do a steroidal factor to dry up mucus, you may need to tweak it. You need to have one that helps with the moisture factor, because you cannot dry up all in there and get good breathing, because you find sometimes there is that aspect when an individual is breathing through the mouth. The lower lung factor, you're technically closing off. So you're getting oxygen at the top and not at the bottom. As a result, you will be introducing yourself to asthma through this format. So you have to look at nasal breathing. What that does is that there are methods in how we were designed by Almighty God, that there's a warm activity going on to get the oxygen in. It has to be heated up. And like if an individual, well, you know these terms better than I do, the pedicure and the manicure and all these things and cutting your nostrils, please don't do that. Clip it at the ends, because your hair in the nostrils is your one of the first lines of defense of stopping pathogens from getting in us, which is germs, viruses, bacteria, even dust, mold, and so forth. And if that's gone, may God help us, then there's the ciliary factor. So one of the things that happens is that when these foreign agents are introduced to our bodies, the body stops it at the hair in the nostrils. When that is done, there is a sneezing network through the nerves and cervixes. Something is in there, and we sneeze with a bit of mucus and moisture and air and that water factor, and it comes through both the nostrils and the mouth. And when sometimes people are about to sneeze, which comes at about 100 miles an hour, and when you sneeze, there's 100,000 germs that are coming out. And we do so, and we block and hold back in everything. We are creating another problem, because we can also create a form of challenges to the eye, the back of the eyes, to the ears, the whole ENT. We can be creating problems at the rib cage. We can be creating problems whereby, you know, things that are supposed to come out, we hold them back. So as in COVID time, when it was really upon us, you say, well, you know, how we sneeze. But I wouldn't suggest for that somebody with sinus challenges go to the elbow. If you go to the elbow, still put the kerchief. So you put the kerchief, don't squeeze up everything, and allow it to go in there. And with that, you're actually pushing out what may be trying to get in. So with even things like asthma, there may be germs or different types of bacteria coming in that you don't want now to live. And as these things live, they lay and mess up your breathing ability. In addition then, we have a challenge where the breathing element within the human is compromised. When that becomes compromised, so too your ability to have energy, because the nighttime factor, we will not be able to breathe properly, and we get up with fatigue, we get up, well, let's call it tired. And as a result, we get this grumpiness. When that happens, as the surgeon that you had on earlier, you begin to compromise your own immune system. When the immune system is compromised, almost everything gets in.
All right, so let's let's go with the takeaways. Just be mindful of the way you breathe. So sounds to me like we need to practice deep breathing so that we get the body moving. Maybe people can research that a little bit more.
I know you say that. We live in the tropics in Barbados. We're surrounded by lots of beautiful beaches. And I say to my clients, get to the sea. And you go someplace that is safe, first of all. And where the water hits on those rocks and the sparkles come up, that's what I want you to breathe in. And
so
that
sea
is
spray?
Yes, ozone therapy begins.
Got you.
When you do that, you start to relieve yourself from the congestion. In addition, steaming also helps. And people will come by me and they talk about, are you not putting any oils in the water? I say, me? No, sir. Get simple water. I buy some steamers and we steam with water only. What that does is that it kills the initial pathogens that enter into the nostrils. It also helps with the entire bronchial system, and that is another line of defense going on.
How often should you steam?
As long as there's a problem, sometimes every 48 hours,
Okay.
and just generally speaking, it helps.
All right, and then watch what you eat, is what you said.
Yes, one of the things is that sometimes we eat food that our body does not recognize as real food, but it is called artifacts. So we are bent by or on or towards too many refined foods. As a result, your body triggers into an inflammatory condition. Inflammation is not your enemy, but is an immune response to block pathogens and to create the healing factor within the human. So when people have swellings, fever, inflammation, maybe stiffness and stuff, your body is just saying, I'm trying to repair you. Give me some help. And when, like, some guys may get this better, some ladies too, when an engineer is in your car and sometimes he has a spanner or tool to fix the equipment in one hand, but he has an assistant. The assistant is not around, but he needs another tool. Likewise, our body's calling for another tool. So we have to stop one thing to do another, and then we're back at square one. So you find we have to work carefully at getting what is called homeostasis, and then your circadian rhythm. When an individual refuses to go to bed properly, adequately, maybe 10, p.m. and be asleep by 10 past 10. And then you're not there. Your whole body flushes and cleans itself between 10 and 2. After that, then it goes into another set of rhythms that when you get up, there's a defecation. With that, your body is saying, time that we can face the day. So if that element of the circadian rhythm is messed up and we're introducing foreign light during the night, once we introduce that foreign light, there's something called blue light blockers, and you're into that an hour before you're ready to go to bed. Your body is still interpreting daylight, therefore sleep is compromised. If your sleep is off, likewise, your immune strength will go down.
Wow, definitely lots, and really proves how interconnected and interrelated all of the functions of the body are. So this was about far more than sinusitis. Dr. Bratha, I want to thank you. The time with you always goes by way too quickly, but you certainly have left us with a lot to think about, if only steaming and getting in a little sea spray. Yeah? There are lots of Barbadians who've not been to the beach in a long time, so this is a good place to start on the sand, taking in some good deep breaths. Again, thank you so much for sharing with us.
You're welcome, and God bless you all, Barbados.
All right, we're going to take a break and come back and wrap up today's presentation of Morning Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Enjoy movies, soaps, drama, comedy, inspiration, education, music, and more. You get it all when you get MCTV, because MCTV gives you more.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
98.1 The One is more than a station.
We don't just play music, we keep you company, cheer you up, keep you informed and entertained. We are a vibe. What do you mean?
Every day we bring the party to you.
We are your #1 party station.
We love
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So that's it from us for today. Coming up tomorrow, conversations on CARICOM. We're also going to be speaking with the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw, who will be in to talk about transforming education and all of the consultations that are going to be happening across the island. And we are also going to be sharing with you in our session on grief and loss, the educational series. So thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow. As you go through your day, be sure to wear your smiles and do something nice for someone. Come on back tomorrow as well. We'd love to have you with us. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.